to be here to listen to your son as he'll be sharing with us. Father Lord, what we have instilled in his heart to share with us, may you be with us. May we have a heart for the Lord which is here to listen and learn. Father Lord, may we be able to advise one another, Father Lord, and best of all, may you be above this meeting. May you lead this meeting. May the Holy Spirit lead Mr. Makwana as he will be leading us, Father Lord, into the lesson for today. In the mighty name of Jesus, we've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for blessing us. We appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with our topic on communication. The first few lessons we've had, we were talking more about internal communication, which is for me the most crucial element. It's the most crucial kind of communication that we can ever be taught about. And I would like those who have taken notes, we have some takeaways from the previous lesson on internal communication. They can share on the comment box why I'm saying internal communication is the most important kind of communication we should ever be taught. And if there is anything else that we need to understand going forward in our lives, it's how we communicate with ourselves. Why am I saying internal communication is very, very important when it comes to any kind of communication that we have with everyone else and those we find ourselves within their perimeters on our day-to-day life. When I was preparing for the class, I was thinking about how external communication has always played a major role in transforming the way we do things and in transforming every other aspect of our lives. We are learning every day. We are acquiring information every day. We are exposed to different kinds of learnings on a daily basis. And these come from the level of the external movements, external interaction and collisions that happens every single day in our lives. So we are going to look much more now onto external communication. I've asked a question. I've already asked a question. Why am I saying internal communication is more important than external communication? Please, can you share on the comment box there? Why am I saying external communication is more important even than external communication? Why am I saying that? Please, let's answer that question. Let's answer that question before I move into today's topic on external communication. Why am I saying external communication is even important than internal communication? Any comments? I can see when you communicate well with yourself, you can communicate better with others, which is a very, very important comment there. When you communicate well with yourself, you can better communicate with others. That's one of the reasons why internal communication is better and important than external communication. Anyone else with another answer on why internal communication? We talked about it the past 3 lessons about internal communication. We talked a lot about it, and I've made a bold statement that internal communication is more crucial than external communication. There are many differences that I've made regarding that. I can see Kaho's comment that internal communication is more important because if you can be genuine in how you communicate with yourself, it can become easier to reframe your perspective. Yeah, I talked about how authenticity comes in. I talked about how authenticity comes in on our previous lessons. I talked about authenticity, that it is embedded within us. And when we are able to come from a place of being authentic with ourselves, coming from a place of being loyal to ourselves, being honest to ourselves, it's easy for it to trickle down to other people. Again, it's easy to trickle down to other people. It's easy to manifest in our external communication. When we are bitter individuals in our room, trust me, no matter how we try to hide it, as we communicate with others on the outside, they can see that. When you have self-sabotage, when you have cultivated the inner feelings of low self-confidence and low self-esteem, it can translate in our outside world, right? So another comment by Dito Are, being congruent, deeper into congruent, who are you? Yes, I talked about the issue of embedded identity that comes from internal communication. When we communicate with ourselves on a daily basis, there is a level of identity we establish with ourselves. I talked about that. I talked that as we establish that identity, it is the same frame of thinking, the same frame of mindset that ends up translating into how we communicate with other people. I get it. And then internal communication helps you to trust and to be loyal to yourself. Yes, we talked about that congruency is the establishment of internal principles and laws that we can use to govern ourselves. And the fundamental question that I asked in that moment, I said, deep within you, who are you really? When the light shuts off, and you are no longer in your office, you are no longer that administrator, you are no longer that teacher, you are no longer that jewelry seller, you are no longer that salon owner, you are no longer that. When the light switches off, when we sit down with you, who are you really? I talked about the embedment of identity that comes from internal communication with ourselves. That is why I took so much time to talk about internal communication, because the external information is available everywhere. Information is available everywhere. The 7 C's of communication, blah, 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 blah. But internal communication, you cannot find its content easily. We don't find its content easily. And it's the very, very important one. Nandi, are being congruent. How loud is your voice in the midst of all the voices around you? Yes, I talked about how we swim through distractions every day. When we scroll, we are swimming through distraction. When we scroll our news feed, when we scroll on the internet, when we are sitting down in our homes, in our office, people are saying something. And most of the time, we end up allowing that to consume us. And now we are not able to hear ourselves well. I talked about the concept of zoning in, listening to yourself more, radiating from a place of integrity from yourself, radiating from a place of self-confidence, how it affects how you look at life and how you relate with other people on your day-to-day life. So thank you so much for sharing those comments, so that for those who were not part of us, they may take it from there. So the previous lessons, we were talking about internal communication, right? We were talking about internal communication. And in today's lesson, we are looking at external communication. We are looking at external communication, and we are looking at how best can we communicate externally with the people that we connect with, right? So right now we are talking about external communication. This is what is happening at the moment. You can hear me, you can hear my voice, you can see what I've presented them, you can see the information that I share through writing, visual, non-verbal, and verbal communication. All these key principles, all these key legs, they present external communication. And the question is, how can we communication has advanced over time? And when we look back in the times, some of the species that faced extinction, Charles Darwin debates that it was because they were not able to communicate better when the environment was changing, the ecology and the ecosystem was changing. Some of the species were not able to adapt. Therefore, as far as going and feel, some of the animals and whatever you can think of, they were not communicate between them. And with the environment, they were not able to communicate, for they faced extinction. Oh man, how to host a meeting on Zoom. Hi everyone. I'm very sorry about that. I had a problem with the internet on my side. I don't know what the problem is, but can you all hear me? Please, someone, can you unmute yourself and answer if you can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly now.
All right, thank you so much.
No problem.
I was still saying, when we look at the theory of Darwin, and he talked about extinction and survival of the fittest, the theory of survival of the fittest, some species over time were not able to adapt and to communicate well with the environment among themselves and with the environment in which they exist upon. And I was giving an example that even today, we are seeing the same problem. We are seeing the same challenge, that communication is not as easy as we know it. Remember last time I said communication is not just communication, right? So many people today are finding it hard to be able to communicate better. Even with the advancement of technology, some they view technology as a reason why they are going to lose their jobs. They don't see it as a reason for advancement, for growth, that the environment, just like before, it is changing. Therefore, the ability for us to communicate externally is crucial. And to understanding how we can get our message across is crucial. We know that some years ago, the only way I can have 5 and 10 people and speaking to them the way I am is when we are meeting in person. Therefore, external communication is not just about getting the message across. It's about understanding the means that you are using to get your message across, whether visually, non-verbally, written work, or verbal communication. Therefore, we must not just end on understanding communication. We must expand more in these lessons and the coming lesson about external communication, we must expand more on the means of communication. What can we use to access the masses and to make sure that people get what we are talking about, even if we are not sitting across each other, even if they cannot see you, even if they cannot hear you, we are doing something visually. How can we get our message across? That is why the topic is effective external communication, verbal communication. We must learn how to verbalize our ideas. We must learn how to share our concepts, how to communicate our initiatives verbally. We must learn how to pronounce words, how to pronounce certain concepts, how they work and how they operate. Verbal communication is very, very, very important. We must be on the go on a daily basis, understanding how best we can share our ideas, understanding how best we can communicate our ideas. The most important element to do within any conversation is to make sure that the next person can hear you clearly, with clarity. I'll go on the 7 C's of communication from here, and then we close. But then you must be intentional on how you communicate. You must get used to your own voice, how you speak. You record yourself, then you listen to yourself. That's one activity that I give for people who are learning how to do public speaking. Learn about your voice, like know the sound of your own voice. Some people are so uncomfortable with their own voices. That's why they will rather keep quiet than share an idea in a meeting. They will rather keep quiet than comment in a quarter meeting, than comment in a Zoom meeting like this. Oh, how does my voice come out? Oh my God, they shrink and shiver when they think of sharing an idea. So you must get used to your own voice. Practice it by recording it. Record it, listen to it. Record yourself saying certain words that you are not comfortable with. Like for myself, I was practicing before the class. I was learning the word conscious, conscious. And I was doing all that, trying to master the best way to say it, right? So we must be comfortable with our own voices and our own skin. So practicing makes permanent. Let's practice on communicating, practice on verbalizing. Practice that so that when I give it a moment and people say, can you introduce guests for us? You can be able to say, yes, I'm willing to introduce guests because you have been practicing. So get used to your own voice. Verbal communication, right? Non-verbal communication. Always look at yourself. Like when you respond to certain things that are uncomfortable for you, how does your eyes look like? Most people don't know how their eyes look like when they are saying something they are not sure about. Most people don't know how their eyebrows, whatever they can use, their cheeks and the corners of their lips, how they shape like when they are trying to communicate something they are not sure about. Communication is not just communication, ladies and gentlemen. These things we need to practice. Just because we can talk does not mean we can get the message across. Just because we can react, we can move our bodies does not mean we are communicating effectively to those who need our information. And today, communication has become so crucial that the pressing of a wrong button, writing a wrong message can cost the companies, organizations you work with billions of dollars. We have seen how communication, people try to get their message across, and they took some black young kids and they said it looks good when the baboon, I don't know if they would say baboon or monkey. The message didn't get across well. People said you are discriminative. The company had to pay money, a lot of money, for the communication they were trying to say. So it's not just what you say, it's about what you portray. Visual communication, written work. So non-verbal communication, understand your non-verbal cues. Understand them well, and understand other people's non-verbal cues, so that when you communicate, you can see if they are getting the message across or not. When I'm making a physical presentation, I look through the hall. I make sure that I see everyone who is attending, every row. I make sure that I see everyone. I look at their facial expressions. Sometimes I repeat something not because I like repeating, but because I've picked that someone was raising their hand above their eye, like they're scratching the top of their eye. That is a what? It's a non-verbal cue of someone saying, I don't get it, I don't understand it, clarify it for me. So we must understand the non-verbal cues, right? Written communication, number 4, at the top there, top right corner, written communication. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford not to know how to write. Writing is not set up for certain people. As an individual, to get your message across, you must learn how to write. Yes, basics of the basics, you must learn how to write. You must understand how to put words together. You must understand how to write messages that gets people to share, like, comment. You must learn how to do that. People don't just do that on their own. They are following your command. Therefore, every time you take a pen, knowing that you are the army general, you are commanding through your written work. Therefore, you can't take it for granted. If it needs practice, then you must practice. Practice on how to write well, how to put words well, how to put words in an interesting way that can spark an emotion of a person to do what you are asking them to do. Rautwana. I get today ke marleng le mi se go kwala neta di points tse ke buang ka tsona. Number 1, I said verbal communication. Number 2, these are basics of communication, of external communication, basics of external communication. Number 1, verbal communication. You must learn how to say things. You must learn how to say things. I'm working with 3 to 4 people who are learning how to answer questions on interviews. Who are learning how to answer questions on interviews. How to say things, how to say right stuff, how to say the right information. So when I get the basics of external communication. Basics of external communication. Number 1, I said verbal communication. Number 2, non-verbal communication. Learn your non-verbal cues. Guys, this is very serious. Learn your non-verbal cues. There are some people that, because I've invested my time in understanding about non-verbal cues, even when I get and pitch something, even if they say they want in, sometimes I don't even give them the attention because I can see the non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues. Learn non-verbal communication. Please don't leave it to luck. Don't leave it to hoping. Learn how to communicate non-verbally. Number 3, written communication. Learn how to write well. Learn how to write. There is nothing more complicated about this. Learn how to communicate well. Learn how to communicate well so that you can be able to get your message across. Learn how to write. Written communication. Don't make it complicated. Written communication. Written communication. Number 4, visual communication. Learn how to use the visuals. Like today, I've incorporated a visual there. Instead of my face, you can see that diagram there. That diagram is communicating. Visual communication. Learn how to use visuals to get your message across. It could be a presentation, it could be animation, it could be a video. One of the visual communications that I normally use when I teach on leadership, there's a video of young children who were playing in the rain, and then there's a tree that fell upon the road. It's the video from Lead India. And then I'll share that visual, and then I start asking people, what do you think about this in terms of leadership? Great people, executives, your managing directors, they will be answering. This is what my takeaway is. I understand leadership this way when I look at that video. This using visuals to get your message across. You don't always have to be talking. You don't always have to be writing. You can use visuals, right? You can use visuals to get your message across.
Yes, sir.
I can load.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Understand.
Ma? There are some 7 C's of communication there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. There are 7 C's of communication, but I'm not going to focus on the ones that we have on the graph there. I'm going to be mixing them up, picking the ones that I feel like they will relate to this introduction of external communication today. Let us talk about number 1, conciseness. Conciseness. Conciseness, number 1. Conciseness. This one we are looking at how to get your message across with few words as possible. Instead of beating around the bush, how can you get your message across so that people get what you are saying? Because the importance of communication is that the next person should hear what you are saying and understand it and take action on what you are telling them to do. Again, so consciousness is about understanding that some people get bored easily, some people get tired easily, some people are busy, so writing that email, remember we talked about writing, or sending that audio, verbal, or sending that visual. It does not have to be a 17 minutes visual. Sending that whatever. What else did we say we are using the basic for communication? That non-verbal cue. But we must be brief as possible. So instead of taking so much time for someone, we are willing to share the message as consciousness as possible, as short as possible. I'm not saying omit everything, no, but focus your message on removing unnecessary and excessive words or phrases. I know that I like to do that a lot, to emphasize and to get the message across, but sometimes it's unnecessary to have so many phrases, to have so many excessive words that just adds to the book, but has nothing to do with getting the message across. So communicating with consciousness also includes highlighting the key points of your message. You highlight the key points of your message. Like right now, if I would say, hey, there are different types of communication means there, and I'm not saying the 7 and focusing on this 7. 7, it means that there are many other ones. Trust me, there are so many other ones that we can focus on. But when I zero into these 7 key points, I make the job easy for you to understand and to follow through. So you must highlight the key points of your message. There's nothing as boring as someone is sending you a message for the first ever time. And then it's like, hi, sir. And then you reply, hello, how are you? I'm fine, how are you, sir? I'm fine too, thank you for asking. Okay, sir, I wanted to say this. You see, we are spending time back and forth and we're not productive there. Good morning, sir. It's my first time texting you, but I would like to know if you are selling books on 1, 2, 3. I would kindly like to get them. Please share the price. Shoot straight to the point. Some people don't like small talk. Even in professional setups, they don't like small talk. So shoot straight to the point so that they are able to help you and both of you go your own way. So highlight the key points of your message. Highlight the key points of your message. Avoid repetitive points or sentences. Avoid repetitive points or sentences. Repeating the same thing again and again and again. Next, you know, and it's like now, so you as a professional, you as a business owner, to get your message across, you must be willing to avoid repetitive sentences. Repetitive sentences. That has nothing to do with getting your message across. I don't like small talk. Shoot straight to the point. Most of the messages I get is as an early childhood consists, hello, how are you? Yeah, so we must teach people like how to get straight to the point. So consciousness is a very important element of what? Of communication, right? Now that you know, let us shoot straight to the point. Again, consciousness, be concise, shoot straight to the message. We're not saying omit everything, but highlight all the key points and get them there. Again, let's go to the second point. Second point under the 7 C's. Number 2, clarity. Clarity. Clarity, number 2. The message you are trying to get across should be clear. What are you saying? What do you want? When do you want that thing? How do you want it? I want bread. I want eggs. Well done or not done, like that. So you must be able to communicate with clarity what you want, what you are looking for, and what you are trying to get, and what you are asking for. Be clear, right? By transferring your thoughts in that way and your opinions, effective communication will serve its role. By being clear about what needs to be done, they take the desired action only when they clearly understand your message. People will only take the desired action when they understand your message. It can happen when you use simple and easy ways to convey your message to the recipient. Simple and easy ways to convey your message. When there is clarity with your boss, with your colleagues, with your partner, when there's clear information transfer, you know, we are able to deal with complex procedures. We can deal with complex issues. We are able to address complex problems when we communicate clearly with each other. I'm not feeling very, very, very well today. So to improve clarity, you must know what you want to say and how to say it. Again, the other part is that you must explain one idea at a time to avoid confusion. Oh, yes, sir. Ya confidence, self-esteem, la emotional intelligence. Public speaking, public speaking. Explain one idea at a time to avoid confusion. Use active voice. And you are draining the energy in the room. Use active voice, the voice that is active, that is communicating an idea. Okay? Utilize language that can be easily understood. Yes, we know you know 7 languages. I China. But when you are communicating with me, I may not know China. Communicate with me in English or Shona. So utilize the language that can be easily understood. When you are giving a presentation, we're talking about the issue of clarity. Try to speak clearly and not mumble. You may be having many ideas crossing your mind at the same time. Take your time to pause. You are not forced to raise your words. You are not forced to be racing and pacing on the stage. Take your time, pause. Think through what you want to say and get across. Don't just mumble, right? So speak clearly. Avoid using unprofessional language. Always be professional in your talk to create that sense of clarity. These points are under clarity. Let's go to our third point, courtesy. 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 We are all entitled to our own opinions and ideas. I agree. We are all entitled to our own opinions and ideas. We have different mentality. We have different feelings about certain things. But that does not mean that we cannot be polite and respect others. Okay? You have great ideas, some experiences that are huge and bigger than us. You have seen things that we have never seen. You have heard things we have never heard. But at the end of the day, when we communicate, be polite and respectful. Extend courtesy. Say thank you. Say, I appreciate that. I was looking at it from this point of view. I acknowledge your understanding about this topic, but I was thinking it from this kind of perspective. Courtesy. Both of you, you are reserving your opinions, but you are sharing them in a polite and respectful manner. Courtesy. So we must be polite. We must respect each other, right? So as you present and as you talk to people, you should try to comprehend the audience mentality and feelings towards that message. In case of difference of opinion among communicating people or organizations, again, try to look at the matter from different perspectives. Still being courteous. You are respectful in your approach. You are acknowledging in your approach. Courtesy. Again, what are some key elements we should look under courtesy? Maintain a friendly and neutral tone. Maintain a friendly and neutral tone. Yes, we can hear you, sir. I heard you talk about politics. I heard you are talking about your parties this way. I am thinking of this way, and I think if we can do things this way, we can meet each other halfway. I understand, say, you are saying my price is too much. Instead of saying, you don't know my value. You don't know how much I invest in reading and researching. I am saying 20,000. Now, I hear you say, this is how much value your company will get. If you have to pay me this much, it means it will affect this quality of my work in this way. It will mean I will not have someone to assist me in this. It means then instead of taking a flight, I'll have to take a bus, and now getting a bus and getting to my home, I'll be tired and I'll not be able to deliver as best in the 2 days that you guys have set me to come. Oh man, listen to that. You are disagreeing, but you are neutral and your tone is friendly. Maintain a friendly and neutral tone, right? Your message can still get across without being hostile, without being disrespectful. It can still get across, all right? Avoid jumping to conclusions. Courtesy means you avoid jumping to conclusions or assuming things. How to Mariana le Ryan. Now, your perception is setting you on a defensive mode. On a defensive mode, you are missing out. Right? Stop jumping to conclusions. Okay? Stop jumping to conclusions. Listen clearly with an open heart. And extend courtesy. Yes, I can hear you. Stop assuming. Stop assuming. Under courtesy also, make your message about the recipient, not about yourself. Make the message about the person you are communicating to. You want them to do something, right? You are not just communicating again. You are not just wasting time talking, right? You are not, again. So make it about them. Pay attention to them so that they get what you are trying to say, right? Yeah, so consider and understand the feelings and viewpoints of the recipients of the message. As a kaya gore ano ke mmoeletse, ke motaditse is not effective communication. No, it's not effective communication. So your question today, before you sleep, before you lay down your head on your nice pillow today, or stone, make sure, I'm kidding, make sure you ask yourself, with the people that I was talking to today, was I being effective in delivering my message? Was I being courteous? Did I understand the feelings of the people or the person that I was talking to? Did I? Did I understand their viewpoints? Or it was just all about me? Towards the end of your message, when you're talking to someone, say thank you so much for your time. I say that a lot, and people say, hey, you are being too professional. No, I'm being too courteous. I'm extending courtesy. Thank you for your time. Whether it's a friend, whether it's your loved one, even when talking to my loved one, I will say, thank you for your time. They didn't have to listen to me. They didn't have to take that time off their schedules to listen to my queries or my expression of love. I say, thank you for your time, right? Teach yourself to say thank you. Teach yourself to acknowledge the time. That's why when I started the conversation, I say, thank you for joining in. Extend courtesy, say thank you. Let's go to my number 4. Number 4, what is on number 4? Which one can we take? Confidence, number 4, let's take confidence. Confidence. Confidence, right? Let's share the message with confidence. Share the message with confidence. If I have seen the level of confidence that was shared, you know, it was during the time of the campaign. So when our president, you know, the way he was going around and talking to people with confidence and boldness. I've seen that. One kind of confidence that I've seen demonstrated by leaders. A leader was Dr. Kwape during the time of COVID, when COVID was breaking free. And you listen to him, you can see that, no, we are going through a problem, but there's confidence in our leaders. When you communicate message with confidence, whether through crisis or through happy times, it always leaves the room lightly. There's no heaviness of issues. Even when someone is coming to, you know, talk to you, you know, with that level of confidence about a problem that may affect both of you, you know, the confidence they bring in the conversation leads to something, you know, hard. No, it's tough, but we'll get through. We'll get through, right? So extend that kind of confidence spirit in your speech, in your talk. Extend confidence. Okay? Extend confidence. Extend confidence, because that will set you up for better better communication with the people that you are talking to. So you must be willing to extend confidence. When you are communicating with confidence, it means you are maintaining that eye contact and smile while you are speaking. Maintain eye contact. Speaking with confidence, maintain eye contact. Second point is speak at a steady pace so that the person understands what you are saying. Speak at a steady pace so that the person understands what you are saying. Don't use the words maybe, perhaps, just, like, no. Confidence is not only how you show up, but the words you use. When you start maintaining words like or maybe, I'm not sure, you are bringing in lack of confidence. You communicate clearly, but you are remaining and retaining your posture in the way you are saying things. You're maintaining your posture in the way you are saying things. Confidence is infectious, okay? It spreads quickly to the next person. When you're speaking to them with confidence, oh man, the room lights up. Confidence brings light into the conversation. So take some few risk to showing up some humor. Joke a little bit. Loosen up a little bit, but not too much. Not too little, but a little bit. So bring that confidence through these various means that I'm sharing with you right now. Let's go to key point number one. Key point number one.
Point number 4.
Point number 5.
Yeah, it should be number 5 because redile 1, 2, 3. No, number 4. Number 4, sorry.
So number 4.
We are getting confidence is the 4th point, resumula point number 5.
Okay, now let's go to point number 5, which is concreteness. 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 You must be concrete. It comes together and it's very strong and tough. So your messaging, your conversation you are sharing, it must be strong, supported by facts, figures, and statistics to hold water. So you must support your communication with relevant facts. That's why I like giving examples. That's why I like citing out research papers. That's why I like quoting people. Because it's not just me waking up and say, no, I know this thing of communication. No. There's a lot that I'm learning from. As I'm teaching right now, I'm learning from one website here that I'm getting my notes from, right? So support your communication with facts, figures, and statistics to show that what you are saying is something, it's a concrete thing. It's something that we should pay attention to. So people relate mostly how? People relate to the information when that information or that message, it comes with real life examples, anecdotes about what you are saying. So support your case, whatever you're communicating, whatever people want to get. Give them real life examples. Show them how things have evolved. Communication, gentlemen, have changed over time. Ladies and gentlemen, has changed over time. We used to communicate with smoke. We used to communicate with drums to get the message from one settlement to the next. People used to walk to deliver the message. And today we don't do the same. We have cell phones. You have to know how to deliver bad news with an email. These are real life examples that are showing you why you need to be listening to me right now and listening to my information. Because I'm giving you a real life example that you realize, and it relates to what you must be knowing now. So to ensure concrete professional communication, you must be relevant and factual. You must be relevant and factual. The more concrete your message will be, the higher your confidence level can soar. When you are concrete, you have facts, you have background information about a particular thing, man, the level of your confidence skyrockets. Now you communicate with power, not with timidity. You communicate with confidence. Okay? Let's go to our 7th point. 7th point for the evening, then we close for the night.
It's our 6th point, sir.
It's our 6th.
Yeah.
I got chasing now. Number
We've
6
done-
correctness. Number 6
Correctness, okay.
correctness. Correctness. You must communicate the right things, correct things. Correct. Communicate the correct things. How do you communicate the correct things? Double check the information that you are sharing. Always double check your information. Before you share that post that you like sharing, double check the information that you are sharing. Don't just share. Use correct and appropriate language in your messaging. Use correct and appropriate language. If you are addressing people, understand the language of that address. The language of the address to get your message across. There is different language in different environments. Apply yourself to understand which is which. Where do I need to use bombarding, bongloas words, and where do I need to use simple and straightforward words? But we talked about clarity. Use simple words. Get people across the river by showing them simple steps on how to cross the river. So use correct and appropriate language in your messaging. Because we don't only use language when we are talking. If you are writing, get your written message or document reviewed or corrected by a subject matter expert. Get your message reviewed. One of the things that I used to do a lot when I was writing my first 3 books, I was like, man, my book is my book. I'm writing, just get one person to check, then let's get it out there. We are looking at best-selling books. We're not looking at best-written books. But my perspective has changed because the information stands the test of time, and it needs to be quality. So I might guess my message to be reviewed and corrected by professionals. Okay. So in terms of writing, one of the things that I'm using when I'm writing books, doing my research, is Grammarly. I use digital online writing tools like Grammarly to correct my grammar and to spell check my sentences and paragraphs. So utilize online content writing tools that can help you to spell check your grammar and to check your grammar. Again, so utilize content writing tools, free of them. One of the things that I'm using to share my designs, like this ones, like the one that I normally share for advertising the classes, the one that you saw before you go to the class. I'm utilizing Canva. I'm using Canva to do designs, illustrations to get my message across. Number 7. Let's go to number 7. Number 7, I will choose completeness. 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 Simply put, the message you share should be complete. One of the things that I love doing when I make presentation, I can take you through a sentence and then pause the sentence and say many other things before I come back to conclude it. That is not effective communication. Complete sentences. I want to eat porridge and meat. Done. Bring completion in your communication, right? I'll read something that is written here. When delivering a message to your audience, ensure you are sending the whole message and not just a portion of it. Deliver the whole message, not just a portion of it. Because when you leave other parts of a message, you make it difficult for the audience to understand what your message is getting at. It is only when the message is complete that the audience can find it relevant to their needs or problems. So whole package all the time. Say everything you want to say. Oscar Momotile, but what's no. Oh, Mr. or Madam, complete message. 20,000. Madia radirsa se rahwabusa antiana ya duelangis mama. Don't leave loopholes. Just share the complete information, complete messaging. Again, completeness of a message also include answering queries. The message is not complete. There are still loopholes. People are looking for answers. After pitching or presenting to a potential client or your employees, try to have a quick question and answer session. Complement the completeness of your message by having a question and answer session. Answer queries. Answer them. One of the things people used to struggle with when I was still in varsity, people didn't like making presentations because if I make a presentation, people are going to ask me questions. No, people asking you questions is part of effective communication. It allows you to share a complete information so that people, when they ask you questions, you give them answers. You answer queries. These queries, as you answer them, you are giving them the whole package. Round one. So, Oscar, no, I didn't make a good presentation because they were asking questions. No, they are asking questions so that they get the whole picture. They get what you are saying so that they can do what your message is challenging them to do. So this is one factor that I always remind people who I'm teaching public speaking a lot. They say, they were asking me questions. That's good. One, they were interested in your message. Two, they were interested in taking action. That's why they wanted to get it clear. So reframe perspectives. No, you said something, they are interested in knowing what to say. Therefore, effective communication is your message must be complete. And question and answer is an underlying additional factor that brings your message across. Your audience may want to ask questions to be able to see the bigger picture. You see? They ask you this question so that they see the bigger picture. They are not asking the question to prove you that, coach, it's us who are. No, I don't take things personal. When people, in fact, I love questions. I love questions because they drag you deeper, to go deeper and understanding the subject matter better. Understanding the subject matter better. So as an effective business communicator, as a business owner, as a student, your job is to furnish the audience, is to fill the audience with complete information and answer their relevant queries, answer their relevant questions. Why is that important, coach? It is important, ladies and gentlemen, because this helps them to get all the crucial information, thereby encouraging them to make better decisions related to taking the desired action. You communicate so that people take action, right? So on your left, on your notes, if you are taking notes there, write communication, then draw an arrow and then write action. Please do that. And then after you do that, you draw a big circle on your left, communication, a big circle on your right, action. Then draw an arrow from communication to action. Then between communication and action, the 7 things that are making you, sometimes people not to hear you, to understand you, to take action. Those are the 7 things that we discussed now. Take care of these things, then people will take action under your communication. That's all I have for you this evening. If you don't understand anything, please ask a question now. If you understood something that you didn't understand before, please let us know. Today I learned this. So the next 10 minutes, let us do that and close for the night. Thank you so much for your time. Anyone starting? Let's get started.
Can I ask something? Maybe I
Yes.
maybe I missed the 4th point. Yeah, the 7 C's. I only have 6 here. We did it for while the other one said 5. So can I please have that 4th point again?
Okay. If you go up, you go up, you go up here on the charts. Number 4, key confidence. Do you have confidence?
Yes, I have confidence.
Okay, let's start from 1. Number 1, no, let me go here. Number 1, key consciousness. Number 2, clarity.
Yes, sir.
Clarity. Then we have courtesy.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Then we have
wrote clarity under as a point under consciousness.
no, clarity is on its own.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Anyone else? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Do you have any takeaway? And then we close. Kindly, let's do that quickly.
Hello, guys. I think for me, it's not necessarily a question, it's a comment, because reading back on all my notes, I think the main thing that I picked up was you need to be prepared in everything that you do. Because if you are prepared with the information you have, you are confident in sharing it. If you're prepared, you believe it's correct. If you're prepared, you know that you're going to be clear in what you're saying. You know that you're going to be courteous to the people you're communicating with. So I think the biggest thing for me out of everything is be prepared with everything that you are doing, especially if you're sharing information with people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate your powerful contribution. Next, anyone? Takeaways? You can pick one and say, with courtesy, this is what I picked, and I'll practice more this week or some for the rest of my life, and I'll teach my future kids and my grandkids. Just pick one and say something. Practice commenting.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, that's good. Yes, sir.
Under courtesy, sir. There was a point where we mentioned maintaining friendly and neutral tone. I think that point, according to me, was very, very crucial. Most of that you'll find that most people will never ask where they are supposed to ask because of the tone that will be like getting out of somebody who's there to offer help or assistance. So you'll find that sometimes you can be frightened by the tone from Mr. Mumpuluk, just by the tone.
Yes.
You end up losing so many things that was to be of beneficial to you. So I think from that point, we have to now learn to be friendly at all times. Especially, I'm in the field of records, so I'm in the RMU.
Yeah.
You know, the RMU is the backbone of each and every organization. and you'll find that all the clients are coming to us for assistance. You know, clients are different. Clients are different. Others will be friendly, others will be so rude, but you have to be of a good balance to all of them, so that, you know, somebody will come to your organization looking for an assistance, especially the ex-members. I'm from Botswana Defense Force. Somebody will come here looking for his benefits. Annually, almost 20 years are retired, and just to assist that person. Sometimes, you know, life outside work sometimes is very challenging, and you find that somebody rudy, but the situation and sometimes you have to, you know, but I wasn't supposed to be as I am, you know. I think that's this point basically looking at. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, and for giving a real life example on that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that contribution. Anyone else, any takeaways?
Let me share my takeaway on today's meeting.
Yes, sir.
As for me, I really liked the 6th point of correctness, because, you know, for you to be confident on what you are saying, you should be sure about its trueness and correctness. That one will boost your confidence on saying it out. You are going to be confident that what I'm saying is true, and I have facts, I have statistics of this. I can even show that this thing is true. It has been documented by Mr. Makwana in his book, as we are saying. So it will boost your confidence again on what we'll be saying, and your own information also needs to be complete, because fumbling around and mumbling around, beating around the bush, won't make people to be convinced by the information you are trying to communicate or you are trying to display. Even if your message can be so strong, but if it is hanging, people are going to look at the last part and say, but he was saying something, but he was fumbling around and he even left us hanging. His message is not complete. So as for me, I'll go and work on this one so much, and also to make sure that I practice courtesy, because most of us Botswana, we like somebody shared something on social media later. He said, we Botswana are the one nation that respect productivity. Like, if you come to them with an idea which is solid, but you don't how you deliver thing, they are most likely not going to absorb that than when you bring it with courtesy. So that's my takeaway.
That's very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing such a powerful example, and also making a commitment to improve on what you are saying. Every day we are learning. Thank you so much for that. Last one, kindly share your takeaway, and then we close in a minute. 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴, do you have anything to share there?
No, sir, I don't have anything. The only thing I've learned is that the way to pronounce courtesy.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for that. Nandi, do you have anything to share there?
Okay. I learned about conciseness. about how to get the message across in a short form. And in most of the time, people get confused when someone is sharing a message. People get lost because we tend to say a lot and something that are irrelevant. So that confuses people. So people end up losing the content or what you're supposed to deliver to them. So yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Dito, do you have anything to share with us?
That's what I think is going on at a deeper level, because they're needing this direction. A man has to decide that he's going to do something. He has to decide.
No, sir, I'm good.
What's your takeaway? What is that one takeaway you have?
You're pathological and oppressive. So fine. Why the hell am I doing it?
I have to learn how to speak slowly
Responsibility. Why do you-
so people can listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Full stop.
Here. Okay. No, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Abigail. Abigail, do you have anything to share with us?
Am I audible?
Very.
Oh, okay. My takeaway has to be I have to work on my confidence, and also I've heard you saying it's been a long time since somebody told me but I have like that kind of a deep voice. So it's confident to talk to anybody because it's about that or somebody would actually say that about me. So I guess I have to get used to my voice, record myself, keep Googling now, or if at all anything, or somebody tells me to stand in front of someone or say something, if I can let that confidence to actually say it.
But Nike who took that we
He has 100 women. James Harvey.
Okay. No, thank you so much for Nyama.
All right. Thank you.
No, thank you so much for sharing your perspective as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We normally do this every Tuesdays. I couldn't do yesterday. So let us do again this Saturday. We do our classes on Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Saturday, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Tuesdays, 7 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. We continue this month and we've concluded this month a conversation here, effective communication skills. So thank you so much for those who joined us. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your time. I would like to pray and then we close. Father, we thank you for the time. We thank you for your leadership. We thank you for your wisdom. We thank you for leading us and showing us the way through knowledge. You said, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. We are here to illuminate your people through information. We are opening them up, Father Lord, allowing them, Father, to express what we have put in their hearts so that they can serve your people and become a force to reckon with. So we thank you that this communication is an opener to the world, that nations shall come to hear from them. People all over the world, they will be transformed because they know how to communicate. So we thank you for them. Every opportunity they are going for, every presentation they are going to do, every interview they are going to do, I speak the grace of communication, that they shall be able to express themselves with power, and they will continue to learn how to master their own expressions. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's meet again Saturday and next week, Tuesday. Have yourself a wonderful night.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Makwana.
Thank you.